Hello, my people. How's it going? I'm Jenni.
KB here.
And today we are going to take a look at a scene from the show.
Arcane.
Where Caitlyn gives Vi the potion. The potion. Let's take a look.
Here we go.
Vi!
Okay, so the first thing that we see is Vi's mom. Mm-hmm. And we hear Caitlyn's voice, but see Vi's mom. Mm-hmm. What do you think about that?
I think that's really interesting because it shows, like, we don't know what Vi's relationship with her dad was like, but I believe it shows that her mom was just, like, probably really kind and caring, like, looking out for her and everything, so they probably had a stronger relationship. I'm not sure if her father didn't, but, I mean, it's interesting that we see her mom. Mm-hmm. And I think usually is if we get hurt or we're feeling kind of sick, don't we always want our mom?
That was my exact thought too, is there's that idea of when people are really injured or they're on their deathbed and they cry out for their mom. Mm-hmm. And this is our way of seeing Vi. She's on her deathbed and she hears Caitlyn, but she sees her mom. And I think it's that sense of she's thinking about wanting that comfort of home. Yeah, and that's where she goes to. But I also think that it says a lot about how she sees Caitlyn as, like, this really safe, nurturing person in her life.
Yeah, exactly. Okay.
Her eyes, if you see it, like, how her eyes look, they were kind of, like, quivering.
Yeah.
So it looks like she's really doing her best to hang in here.
It is.
So we see, and we just talked about how that was, like, a very mothering kind of situation. But also, like, to be fed by someone else is also very nurturing.
True. It's true.
It's very much like that dynamic of being taken care of. So to see Caitlyn just pours it right into her mouth.
She does.
It shows also how vulnerable Vi is right now.
Yeah, she's extremely vulnerable right now.
Yeah. Caitlyn's taking care of her.
Look at the shimmer eye.
Okay, yeah. And it's really interesting to me, like, because we've seen all of the harm that shimmer can do and all of its detrimental effects.
Yeah.
So now we see Vi on her deathbed.
Yeah.
And we see that she's having the same reaction.
And look at all these flecks of color. You've got, like, this green right here that kind of reminds me of blood.
It's kind of like an explosion.
But it's like an explosion right here, too. But, of course, because we first saw Shimmer, and this was back when Silco made it when they were teenagers, and we saw when it was given to... What the hell was that guy's name? Begin with a B. But, anyway, I think it was a B. But anyway, no, begin with a D. Del...
Oh my gosh, it's on the tip of my tongue.
Too. But anyway, when they gave it to him...
Decker.
There you go.
Yes.
Decker. When they gave it to Decker, like, he became, like, this raging Hulk. He still had somewhat of a conscience, but he still was more like... Rah, rah. You know, when we saw that Vanda had it more put together. So now, like, just the Shimmer now has other uses besides, like, making people super strong and stuff like that. And also, what happened?
Besides being destructive, too.
It can heal.
We've seen it, as something that causes all this destruction. Yeah. We've seen it cause those effects that it left on Huck.
Yeah.
Yeah, we saw what it did to him.
Yeah.
And now to see it in this context of someone who's really injured.
Yeah.
To see her having the same reaction, it kind of brings it home.
Yeah.
And it's like being fed to her on her deathbed to help her feel better. It kind of, in a way, to me, not only shows that it can be used for both, but it kind of, like, brings it home in terms of, like, leveling the playing field. So it's like you saw Shimmer as this, like, awful, evil thing that only bad people would do and use for their own game.
Right.
And now you see it as something that even Vi, who a lot of us have been rooting for and, like, thinking is kind of one of the good guys.
Yeah.
Not that there is super clear good and bad guys in Arcane at all.
Yeah, that's so true.
But to me, like, I see her as one of the good guys.
Yeah.
And I see Caitlyn as one of the good guys.
Yeah.
So to see her, like, giving Shimmer to Vi is just, like, kind of mind-blowing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then to see the actual response of her eyes lighting up like we've seen with all those other guys.
Yeah, when Savika starts using her, like, whatever her mechanicalism for her arm is, like, her eyes start to get that color. When Jinx gets it infused into her body, her eyes are that color.
Yeah.
You know? But it is cool to see Shimmer in a way that can help, because, let's be honest, regular medicine wasn't going to help this quickly. You know, she was like bleeding out, you know, so it's quite impressive when it can be used for the good.
That's true.
Oh my gosh.
So you can tell it kind of sent a shock through her system, and she, who was like laying on her deathbed, jolts upright.
Yup.
So that to me shows how much of an effect this had on her system.
But what's really cool too is that Caitlyn stays right by her. She just give it to her and let off her way. Like, she's there because she doesn't know what it's going to do to her either, but she's there to catch her, like help her up, right?
It's really, it's really sweet and intimate.
Yeah.
And she's holding her.
Yeah.
She's like, I'm here with you. I've got you. Yeah.
Yeah, it was just because she could have just been like, here's the potion, I'm just going to watch you from the sidelines, you know, but she stayed right with her after she gave her that.
Oh, Caitlyn, so sweet.
I know.
Aww. See, she's like holding onto her.
She's like,
and not only is she like holding onto her, but you can tell she's like comforting her, trying to take care of her. Oh, she lays her back down, and then
she jolted up.
That's what I was gonna say too, is that it sent a second jolt through her system.
Yeah,
I think it's still making its way through her system.
Yeah, that's a shock to the system for sure. Jeez.
Easy.
Aww, she's just so comforting.
Okay, there it is.
There's a moment. Now, just a real quick thing. A lot of people, us included, initially wanted to believe this to be the thing, that they were like looking at each other's lips. However, it's the eye contact. That's what it is.
Yeah. I think there's so much intimacy about this moment. Again, Vi being very vulnerable.
Yeah.
Caitlyn taking care of her. And that's huge, not only in the development of their personal growth of their story together, but for Vi, who has this, what's the word, like a stick on her shoulder, something like that.
Chip on her shoulder?
Yeah. Toward enforcers.
Oh, yeah.
So to have this enforcer, like, taking care of her in her super vulnerable state is huge for Vi's character development and growth. Yeah,
it really is.
And for her to let Caitlyn give her this potion, I don't think she was, like, with it mentally enough to have stopped her if she wanted to.
No.
But now she's, like, coming to it.
Yeah.
And it's huge to see Caitlyn there taking care of her, holding on to her, touching her face. Like, all of that is just very intimate and in such a vulnerable position for Vi.
It really is.
But I do agree. There's this moment where right here.
Look at her. Her eyebrows her eyes are moving, and then her eyebrows are like, uh-oh.
Yeah.
She's getting caught up in the moment.
Where they look into each other's eyes.
Yep.
And something passes between them.
Definitely. Definitely. Because what follows, she's got to look away.
Yep. I think that she's just so caught up in the moment and so taken in by Vi that she can't handle it. No. And she sees that she's getting distracted, getting off course. Like, she's, as we all know, such the planner.
Yeah, she is. She's got her goal in mind, and this is kind of detracting from that goal. She wants to stop what's going on in the end of the city, and she's like, uh-oh. I'm getting too close to this individual. It's supposed to be helping me out.
Or getting too I think she's too emotionally pulled
close.
in.
Yeah, she is.
Yeah, she's just too involved and just cares like, so much. Yeah. Aww.
Look at her. She's just watching her.
Kind of like looking after her.
We need you back on your feet.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, do you really think that that's why she's trying to, like...
She's trying to stretch herself. She's trying to get her mindset back on track. Right? Go ahead.
Yeah, like, that's not really what she's thinking, which is, we need you back on your feet.
No, she's not really thinking that, but she's trying to make herself get back to that professional, like, you know, whatever you've got going on here, which is not professional at all, Caitlyn, but, you know, at all.
Yeah, she's just really caught up.
But she's trying to get herself focused back on why they're down here, what they're doing. But it's in her mind, she's like...
It's like when people say, who are you trying to convince? When you say something like, are you trying to convince yourself?
Yeah, she is.
I think she is.
She's definitely, look at her body language.
Yeah.
What was the name Savika gave you? Jinx.
Oh my gosh, and her eyes look
her eyes are.
Like, not sad, but just like...
She's like, did that just happen?
Yeah. yeah.
And then Vi's just kind of like, wait a second. She's like, I'm not bleeding anymore.
Right.
See, it takes Vi a minute to... I never noticed that. forget. It takes Vi a minute
Yep.
also to collect herself.
Of course.
After that happened.
Of course.
I noticed Caitlyn's because it was so pronounced.
Yes, it was.
But then she asked Vi, and Vi is just like, wait, what's going on? Like, she's checking in on herself, but I think she's also kind of emotionally shook by the situation.
I feel like she could be, for sure.
Yeah.
How could I forget?
Yeah, how could I forget?
Yep.
They're both trying to be like, hey, we got caught up in the moment.
Yeah, nothing happening here.
And we need to get back on track.
Yep.
Get back down to business.
Back down to business.
Yeah.
More careful now. Silco will be watching.
Whoa.
She's like, what just happened?
I know. Yay, thanks for watching that with us.
Yeah, that was a really powerful scene. Just, it wasn't even that long of a scene, but there's just so much, like, emotional connection and just, like, so much tenderness of the Caitlyn. And,
It's, like, pivotal.
yeah, it's really something, There's probably more you could even talk about that scene, but quite frankly, that's just one of those scenes where you just have to just take it in, just like, wow.
Yeah.
Because not just the look of the eyes, it's just, like, everything. What could be going through Caitlyn's mind at that moment?
A lot.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, thanks again for watching and hanging out with us. We'd love to have you hang out with us some more, and to keep in touch, please subscribe. We're sending you all so much love. Till next time.
Later!